Get up! To the backyard, now! I jolted upright, still half asleep, heart racing. My son, stood at our bedroom door, eyes wide, breathing hard. "What's happening?" I asked, already reaching for our toddler, who clung to me like a shadow. "Baby, it's okay." "There's no time to explain," he said, grabbing his sister and sprinting barefoot down the hallway. "Just come, hurry." Pajamas, cold air, grass wet against my feet. We crouched in the bushes behind the shed. I wrapped my arms around the kids, confused, trembling. Then I looked back at the house and saw her silhouette in the window. Not alone. I met Claire 12 years ago in a parking lot with a dead battery and a smile that made my chest hurt. She talked like the world owed her nothing, laughed like she didn't care. But her eyes, they were heavy, like she carried things she'd never speak aloud. I loved her for that. We built a quiet life, safe, predictable. Dinner at 6, cartoons at 7. 2 kids, 1 mortgage, and matching toothbrush holders. She said she wanted peace after the chaos she grew up with. I gave her that. I just never expected she'd find it boring. The signs were there, if I'm honest. Late work meetings that didn't make sense, phone face down, always, a new gym routine and perfume she never wore for me. But love makes you generous with excuses, and I'd rather be blind than paranoid. Until 2 weeks ago, I'd borrowed her laptop for a Zoom call and saw the messages. Not just flirty, not just suggestive, detailed, coordinated, familiar. Because the man she'd been meeting wasn't just someone, he was someone we both knew. Someone I trusted with my house when we were on vacation. Our neighbor, Mark. The same guy who taught my son how to fix a bike chain. The one who laughed too loud at Claire's jokes. The one who waved too eagerly when I pulled into the driveway. I stared at the messages. My body felt cold, but my mind, it was calm. For the first time in a long time. I didn't confront her, not right away. I started watching instead. Tracking patterns, gathering proof. 2 phones, 2 bank accounts, 2 versions of the woman I thought I knew. Every detail was a pin in the map. Every lie, a brick in the trap. And I waited, because revenge, real revenge, it isn't rage, it's patience. The night it happened, everything was already in motion. The cameras I'd installed caught Mark slipping into the basement door Claire left unlocked, like clockwork. What they didn't know, what he didn't know, was that I had already called my lawyer, already filed for emergency custody, already moved half our assets. And my son? He found the burner phone Claire thought she'd hidden in her sock drawer. He saw the messages. He's 10, old enough to know betrayal when he reads it, young enough to still believe in protecting the people he loves. He came into our room that night like a soldier and got us out before the fire started. No, not a literal fire, but what followed was just as devastating. When the police arrived, called anonymously, of course, they found Mark in our kitchen. Claire was upstairs, in a robe, stunned, confused, claimed it was all a mistake. The look on her face when she saw the footage I handed the officers, I'll never forget it. She realized in that moment that the version of me she knew, the passive one, the provider, the predictable man, was gone, replaced by someone methodical, someone who knew how to turn a quiet humiliation into a full-blown collapse. She was arrested that night for trespassing and conspiracy to commit fraud. Turns out she'd been funneling money, small amounts, but enough to cost her everything. We moved out a week later. I didn't burn the house down, I just left it empty, silent, like her promises. People ask if I'm angry. I'm not. Anger is loud, messy, it makes mistakes. But me? I'm precise. My revenge wasn't screaming. It wasn't throwing plates or airing dirty laundry. It was showing her exactly who she underestimated. It was teaching my son that truth matters, that silence has power, and that the ones who love you quietly will also protect you fiercely. Claire tried to call me last month, left a voicemail crying, begging, said she didn't recognize herself anymore. I didn't call back, but I saved the message so my daughter can listen to it someday, to hear what weakness sounds like behind a mask of strength. Funny, isn't it? How a betrayal can feel like the end of the world until it becomes your beginning. The night my son pulled me from that bed, I thought we were running from danger. Turns out, we were running toward freedom.